What's good, family? Welcome to another episode of An Honest Conversation about Hip Hop. I'm your host, D. Rainey, aka Hip Hop Old Head, aka Hip Hop's Uncle Phil. And as always, I got my boys with me tonight, so we're going to go ahead and start it off with the one and only.
It's your boy, Sim Kapone, the greatest rapper. Never known. We in the building.
What's good, man? How you doing?
Ah, man, a little under the weather, but, we're going to bang it out.
I appreciate you here, fighting the itis. What type of itis you got?
the itis of sinus, man.
These
fucking sinuses, bro. It's warm one day, overcast the next, and just opening up these fucking pollens like nobody's business, man. So
yeah, man, this hurricanes and all kinds of shit going on right about now.
Hey, man, tornadoes all through the Midwest and shit, man. Prayers out to them people, man.
Yeah,
and
definitely, man.
Stay safe.
And as always with me as well, Mr. Controversy himself.
The boy Big Pooh on a Saturday afternoon, ready to get this shit going.
Yeah, man. So we just appreciate everybody listening and checking us out. Whether you're checking us out through Spotify, we're back up on Spotify, so make sure you check that out. If you're checking us through iTunes, we back there. Coming soon back to Google Play, but you can always catch us on Libsyn. So just go ahead and Google An Honest Conversation about Hip Hop, and you will find us there. Also, coming very soon to YouTube, coming very soon to radio.com, and a whole bunch of other stuff that's in the works. So if you've never heard us before, basically we sit around, talk a whole bunch of shit, debate hip-hop, piss some people off, make some people laugh, but we always keep it real and 100% authentic. So speaking of some shit that was not 100% authentic, reports out that Wack 100 and the champ himself, Iron Mike Tyson, had hooked up for Mike's podcast called The Hot Boxing or some shit with Mike Tyson. As we know, Wack 100 is very critical of Tupac, some say disrespectful. In my opinion, a lot of shit that he says is a little outlandish, but a lot of times it is laced with some sort of fact. And Mike is a big time, Mike was Pac's boy. Mike said his one regret in life was never smoking a blunt with Pac. So they hooked up. Supposedly they did the show. Some things led to some other things, and there was supposedly an altercation. And this was revealed through a conversation that Wack was having with a cat that has a podcast on the Digital Soapbox Network, Reggie. I can't remember his name off the top. But the world wanted footage. People were like, yo, Wack was actually talking on the phone saying, yeah, some things happened, yada, yada, yada. And now it's been exposed that this was just all promo for what Mike is doing. So, really quickly, we talked about Wack and Game using a lot of promo to or a lot of bullshit really to promo them. And I think it was you, Pooh, that was saying that, who was Wack really blown up in his run, Blueface and these cats. He kind of hangs on to or tries to attach himself to whoever the popular person is at the moment on the West Coast and tries to shine. So one, are we shocked by this at all? Two, if you had to throw hands with Mike, you gonna do it, right? So I'm gonna start with you, Son. One, just overall, how you feel about this whole situation?
It's crazy, man. I don't put nothing behind Wack. You know what I mean? That he's the ultimate clout chaser. You know what I mean? He's the West Coast 6ix9ine. He just ain't ratted on nobody yet. You know what I mean? As far as
Skull
in
Gang!
Front of exactly, blicky and shit, man. But he do anything for attention, man. He need to stay in his lane, manage, and he need to take that energy he need that he's starving for this attention and put that use to his artists, you know what I mean, and make something productive of them. So with that, like I said, it's expected of him. With Mike, it kind of hurt for Mike to go this far because Mike is a hero, dude, man.
Right?
Mike is, you know what I mean, like Mike is a god to for me, Mike was a god. I remember cats being pissed off and my upbringing, 1 minute in and he knocking motherfuckers out and they paying $60-$70 for the fight.
Yeah.
And he was just Superman to us, you know what I mean? And he'll always be Superman to me. But for him to do that for promotion, he ain't got to do it. People still respect and love Mike, including myself. So he doesn't have to go to that extent to pub anything.
So you in the club chilling, Mike walks over and just grabs 3/4 pounds of your woman's booty cheek.
We catching that fade.
Catching that fade, even
fucked
though
up, but we catching that fade.
Right? Okay.
I hope he still got some MGM money or some shit. But, but I'm getting touched. I'll admit it.
Pooh, what are your thoughts on this, man?
I would never expect Mike to stoop to that level, like to quote unquote use his homie, Tupac legacy to
that's a bigger thing, right?
It just kind of shows you how sad as it is to say how irrelevant Mike is these days.
Damn.
I mean, he's not the same guy. When like Simon was saying, when I was younger, that motherfucker was like just I can't even explain how big he was. Like I remember in elementary when he lost to Buster Douglas, it was like it shocked the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was just
like we all lost.
Yeah, he's like a huge figure. I remember even when he bit Holyfield's ear, I was like, this nigga, he lost his motherfucking marbles. You know what I mean? So, it just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. As far as Wack goes, somebody's gonna touch this nigga really soon. I seen, some street shit. Some niggas from P Stones called him out, saying they're gonna put hands and feet on him and shit. And he didn't respond to that shit. He just responds and calls niggas broke and this and that. That's his response to everything, like niggas is bums and this and
That's
that.
terrible.
But you know what I mean?
It'll
catch up to it.
I don't wish nothing that bad
of
like
course.
that happened to him, man.
Yeah. But
he gotta understand this like our buddy that's sitting in the feds right now. You issue out that negative energy. That negative energy is gonna come right back to you, man.
And the first way the way I knew that this was not true initially was, if y'all remember when he was talking about a lot of that nonsense about Pac, and then I think it was Tretch, like flew out here, was in the streets looking for him. So, in my opinion, if you're ready to go head up with Mike, but you ducking Tretch, you know what I mean? That just doesn't make sense.
That's not how it
Tretch
works.
is a little dude.
He threatened to whoop Tretch ass. Tretch went to the Booyah tribe, and one of the Booyah tribe niggas put hands on him.
Put hands on Wack.
On Wack, yeah.
Oh, see, so I saw Tretch out here looking for him and saying, come find me or whatever, and supposedly Wack was playing hide and seek.
No, he talked bad about Tretch, talking about he gonna make his mama suck his dick, all kind of disrespect.
That's crazy, man.
But the word on the street is one of them Booyah tribe niggas put hands on him. That's how that shit went.
Yeah, Booyah and the Low been regulating cats for a very long time.
Hey, Booyah security is they high or man, if you need security, that's your go-to right
The one thing that I noticed is like all these big loudmouth figures in the industry. When you see these niggas be like 5'7" and 5'8". Like I remember we was in Hollywood and niggas saw Bokeem Woodbye and fucking
I remember that
Wesley
night.
Snipes,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at these niggas like niggas is under 5'10", like they look bigger than life.
Right.
On the big screen, but in real life they just below average sized men.
Some of the women they was with was more muscular than they were.
Yeah, just little niggas. I think like the Locks. You see them niggas, they can barely get on the fucking carnival ride.
Right.
Little as fuck.
But speaking of Mike, they were telling the story on I think it was at what's the Noriega joint? The show that Noriega has. Drink Champs. And they're talking about how I guess Mike was tripping on Eve. Like was on her, like, pit bull on like, a Chihuahua type stuff. And they were like, man, how we gonna help this? How we gonna, rectify the situation? So according to the story that they were telling, they had all thought about stabbing him. And I guess that Sheik Luch was gonna run up, be the cat to get knocked out, and then everybody else was just gonna go and poke him. Yeah, I was like, damn, that'd have been crazy. But luckily that never went down. I guess they told Eve she had to bounce. So instead of checking Mike, they're like, yo, Eve, so go take this L, Pitbull in the skirt. Go ahead and walk that out real quick, because we're not gonna put ourselves in that position. But yeah, crazy. I think at this age, I don't know what Mike is. Mike's got to be 50 at least, 52, 53 years old. I still believe that if he catches an average person on the street in the chin, he's breaking your jaw.
Well, that's most people.
Yeah,
I mean, man,
no
come
doubt
on,
about
man.
Yeah. So that was crazy to me that Wack, made it sound through the clip like, yeah, we did our thing, we banged it out, and whatever's whatever type of thing. Nah, I think you're not gonna be talking. You're gonna have some. You definitely gonna have some issues there. Yeah, you definitely gonna have some issues there. So Scott Storch, I don't want to say. I mean, do we say super producer when we speak on Scott Storch? Because Lean Back is probably his biggest hit. You can't really go in and say singularly this is what he's been able to deliver. You know, when you stack up maybe his resume to other greats in the game, like we stack him up to a Premier, if you stack him up to, you know, a Dre, you know, Scott Storch is primarily known super hit wise for Lean Back. He's known for assisting on a lot of projects, and I could be wrong. Like, I know he did some shit with 50 beforehand. I don't remember off the top.
He did Candy Shop.
He did Candy Shop. Okay, so I'd Lean Back is definitely, in my opinion, a bigger hit than Candy Shop. But Scott Storch has been back, trying to get his life back together. Had some shit with Tekashi 6ix9ine. Supposedly it was going to drop. So, according to reports, Dr. Dre reached out and has 50 and Scott Storch back in the studio working together for something. And then J. Cole is also supposedly working with Scott Storch before. I think this will be the second time that we're working. So in 2019, I'm going to ask you, gentlemen, what are you more looking forward to hearing? 50 and Scott or J. Cole and Scott?
I'd probably go 50.
50? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, J. Cole is brilliant in his own way with his own production, but I don't know if J. Cole could shine on the Scott Storch production. Because I think just musically, with all the shit that Scott Storch puts into the shit, the keys and shit like that, and the different runs and stuff like that, J. Cole is not that sound. You know what I mean? And 50, I think, is as simple. I think what 50's formula and what made him blow up is his simplicity to his music and the hooks and riding the shit to make
Shout
the
out
shit
to Lloyd
sing
Banks.
along.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think 50 has, you know what I mean, more experience with the Scott Storch type production. J. Cole kind of do his own shit, so I don't know if J. Cole would be nice on a Scott Storch or a Dre beat. You know what I mean? Like, he would do what he would do, but I think our expectation we'd probably be let down on expecting big things from J. Cole.
So do you think that 50 would then deliver the better song? Maybe J. Cole's going to give you the better rhymes or whatever, but overall listenability or replayability,
J. Cole,
you think it's going to be 50?
J. Cole puts more pride into his rhyming, you know what I mean? But I think with 50, he's going to put a better song together.
What about you, Pooh? What you say?
I would probably agree. I think 50 is probably a better musician, so to speak, than J. Cole. J. Cole is a better MC. 50 makes better. Well, in his time, see, 2019 shit.
Yeah, long time,
it's
right?
All up in the air.
But as far as if you put career versus career, 50 made better music than J. Cole as far as, you know, just
replay value.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He made like universal music. Like J. Cole, as dope as he is, you know, and I'm a hip hop fanatic. He still hasn't done anything to draw me in. I done heard some verses, I done heard some shit, and I think he's dope as hell. But there's never been a time where I sat back like, let me go put this J. Cole in. It just never happened.
Yeah, and and I'll give it to you. I think that is his biggest problem, and is being able to get that. What's the right word?
The universal appeal?
It's just not so much appeal, because J. Cole definitely has a universal appeal. It's, can you stay there? Can you anchor yourself? So it's that universal anchor, I guess. Like Pooh's saying, like, let me go throw this on. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dope MCs that we all respect and like, but there's times for that. You know what I mean? Where, you know, you could be in a common area or somewhere else and someone's going to throw a 50 on before, you know, a J. Cole. Unless you're having that specific conversation about J. Cole is dope, or have you heard this new song addressing this, where, you know, 50 has more of that universal appeal and has anchored himself to the culture a little more than J. Cole has. Even though in 2019 J. Cole's one of the biggest names in hip hop, and the flip side is 50 is not. He's known for other things. He's still a big name, but he's more a big name when we speak on the rumors and who's he clowning, and, you know, like with this kid now from Power, you know, you owe me, you know, $300,000, and he's loaning a lot of cats money, and cats are not paying him, it seems like. So that's another question: is you know, has 50 gone soft to where he's letting all these cats kind of slide on him with his money, and then has to go to, you know, the internet to collect it? Because you would think that 50 would not need to do that. I know I'm completely off, subject of what we were originally talking about, but that's shocking to me that he would have to go to the internet to collect his paper. What was it, Jackie Long recently? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that owe 50 a lot of money, and it seems like for whatever reason they're just like, nah, homie, you ain't getting that.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Who got 300,000 sitting the fuck around in their house? You know
right. But
You
I
know.
would think that these cats would be motivated in some way, shape, or form to get the money that is owed to 50. You know what I mean? And it seems like no one's really
Hey, man,
moving quickly to
All
make
this
that
shit,
happen.
Man, everything is a facade right now. You know what I mean? And nobody getting money like that. You know what I mean? And shit, just because these motherfuckers are on the screen don't mean that everything is luxurious. You know what I mean? They might have a nice little condo or some shit like that, but that's the falsehood of fucking social media and shit like that, is that you might have great pictures and shit like that, but it's somebody else's crib. You know what I mean? Or a fucking Airbnb. You know what I mean? You're not really living like that. So I mean, shit, he got to get his money. Hopefully he doing it right by getting motherfuckers under contract, and I'm pretty sure he is. 50 is pretty business savvy as far as getting the funding, but I mean, even with him taking that shit to court, it's bigger than small claims, so it's a whole different element of how to go ahead and recoup that money back. So I mean, fuck, maybe the last ditch or first ditch effort is to go to social media to belittle somebody.
It's easier, costs less money, and maybe you get it done in a quicker time than having to sit there forever and trying to fight for.
Because them motherfuckers, it's a debt, so the motherfuckers can file bankruptcy and fuck 50. You know what I mean? Like, and legally not be entitled to that debt no further. And
that's another question: is how? I mean, is he just opening up briefcases and come through? I'm gonna give you a duffel bag. Or is this actually like, I'm gonna drop some paperwork, I'm like really loaning you money? Is like 50, Urban's cultures, check into cash, you need some paper, let me slide through and let me get it, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's to me, that's a lot of money floating out there, if the rumors are true.
But you think about it, that's probably what the fuck he earned in interest on the paper that he does have, you know what I mean? So that's probably his,
oh yeah, I'm not saying he's financially hurting, but I mean, I was reading some shit.
Back east, they do that, the loan sharks and all that shit, you know what I mean? So they learn that shit back east. That's how the motherfuckers get down, is points.
I was reading some shit before we started recording saying that he's even now on Tony Yayo's helmet about some money that Tony Yayo owes him, and that's crazy, because they go way back.
Yeah, I listened to that today.
So what's that about?
It was they were talking about something. He was like, since you brought it up, nigga, when you gonna pay me? And Yayo was saying, like, man, you gave me that money. So they was like joking. He was like, man, I ain't gonna pay you back. I'll shoot a nigga for you or some shit. And 50 was like, well, just forget it. Some shit. It seemed like they were just joking.
They was just joking.
Tongue in cheek type shit. On the other subject about 50 and that money, total speculation. I feel like, like I said, I could be wrong. It seemed like he may have handed out a lot of paper when he did that bankruptcy himself. Got that money out of his accounts, gave it out.
Man, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Promissory notes.
Yeah.
Promissory notes.
Yeah.
So all his funds exhausted. All his funds exhausted and not accounted for. Fucking.
And I'm sure there's maybe some legal ramifications to hiding that money. So if you do it through Instagram and make it seem like this was money that was loaned and shit like that, then it could be staged and orchestrated to go ahead and not tip off the IRS or the government, whoever's trying to come collect for that. I didn't think about that. That's a good ass point, Pooh. And I'm sure 50 has
too for taxes.
Yeah, I'm sure
that's all accounted for as far as paying taxes.
And I'm sure that 50 has the ability to, and the team around him, to go ahead and make that happen.
CPAs and motherfuckers that really do this shit.
Yeah. So if Dre's asking 50 to get back in the studio with Scott Storch, do we think maybe another 50 record is coming? When is the 25th anniversary of Get Rich or Die Trying?
27.
Has already passed? That's already passed?
Nah, 27.
Well, shit, no, 28. They came out in 03.
So 28.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still. So the 20th anniversary is. The 20th anniversary is in.
About 4 years.
Is in 4 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so this. I was just thinking, because that sounds like this would be Dre's calling to get 50 back in the studio for what reason? You know what I mean? I mean, the streets aren't screaming for a new 50 and Scott Storch record. Like we stated what was it, last week's episode, that Dre's doing other shit. Anderson .Paak, sure, he's got some Kendrick shit coming out. Who else knows what he's cooking up? So just seems odd to me, an odd time for 50 and Scott Storch to be hooking up for what? Maybe the theme for Power Season, whatever's coming up.
You know what? In my opinion, it kind of seems like 50 said it himself. When he came out, Jay-Z retired because the buzz was just too strong. And I remember 03, Jay-Z did the Black Album when he stepped the fuck away. So I'm like, you know what? He's right about that shit. It got to a point where 50 couldn't win. Like, that generation after us came in and he created so much trouble that motherfuckers just didn't want to hear his shit no more.
Right.
Now, fast forward, 50's Instagram superstar.
Right.
It's a new, younger generation that may be accepting to his music. So maybe it's the reboot time.
It's a reboot time, drop something new. I mean, I could see it. I just don't.
I don't know if it'll work.
The reason I don't think it works is because I think with these older folks who have that viral buzz, when you see them try to drop records, like, all right, it's not hip hop, but case in point, Sierra, right? Sierra's Instagram and her shit like that is popping. You know what I mean? People want to find out what's going on with her and Russell and Baby Future, but she dropped a new album. And I want to say it did like 15 or 100 or I don't know, it was like 1,500 sales. That's streaming and equivalent and all that type of shit. So it did horrible numbers. So I feel you that his Instagram and his internet notoriety is popping, but sometimes that just doesn't translate. Like, we don't want to hear you rap, 50. We want to hear you talk bad about people. We want to hear you clown people and put people's business in the streets. We don't really want to hear any music from you.
Well, it just depends, because controversy sell, and that's initially how the fuck 50 blew up in the first fucking place. So who knows what kind of shit he gonna be talking. If he talking shit, about somebody or something, that shit might carry. If you gotta listen to the track, you know what I mean, of what he's pushing out, I think he should push a single. I don't know. I don't even know if he's gonna work on the whole album, but if he's doing a single,
I just don't agree. I think that in this day and age, people will share shit like, oh my God, listen to what 50 said about such and such. I don't really see someone saying, oh man, listen to this 2-3 minute song of 50 featuring Scott Storch on production.
Look at him. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers will give it a listen to give it a listen. You know what I mean? And I mean, shit, the motherfucker had the most plays, and nobody's really, I'm waiting for that new M. I'm waiting for that new M. But
M has a bigger machine behind 50. See, M is still connected with the machine.
Yeah, but if anybody's close to the machine of M, who would it be?
I mean, 50 is somehow close to that machine, but what has it done for all the other little bullshit projects he put out?
You know what? To make it like, the industry now, it's still the same formula as before. This nigga's in his 40s. Hey, it is what it is. Don't ever discount the sex symbol aspect of being major. Because you look at all these niggas now, it's the complete package. It's not even a skill. And I think that's part of why J. Cole will never reach that level, because bitches don't want to look at him. Just being real. He carries himself grungy.
Yeah,
I've never heard or seen a female say some shit about J. Cole or put heart emojis and all that shit under his post. None of that. You know what I mean?
You follow the wrong sisters, Pooh. You need to be down with those, the sisters in touch with themselves or whatnot. But I feel you. In all honesty,
I mean,
it's still a big piece of today's hip hop is the appeal.
How motherfuckers like the Migos and shit, like them niggas, they can you can say they can rap, whatever the case may be, but motherfuckers like the way they dress, the jewelry that they wear, all of that, the drip, that's the new term, the drip. Motherfuckers is like, they into the whole complete package, and unfortunately these young girls ain't checking for a nigga old enough to be their pops.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I think Jay still gets the love based off of his legendary status and the fact that he's attached to, well, not attached, I mean, he's married to Beyonce. That whole joint album that they put out together, and just going forward, I think anything he's going to release is going to be centered around the Beehive or the Bayhive, whatever they call him. I don't see Jay completely breaking from that and doing his own thing and not not making sure that it's part of whatever comes out.
I got a perfect example. When you want to take to the J and B, they're considered like hip hop royalty, so he gets that love.
Right.
Snoop Dogg, Uncle Snoop.
Uncle Snoop.
You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
considered older. Like
Yeah.
Puffy still gets respect, but motherfuckers is looking more at his kids and what they're
Right,
doing. You know what I
right.
mean? It's more of a
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think if Puff put out an album right now, I don't think people would fuck with
yeah,
it.
that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think so.
That motherfuckers don't want to say it, but it's true. You know what I mean? I'm gonna include myself in it. Our age bracket ain't popping on the mainstream level no more. We might
Right.
be more talented than these young niggas, but motherfuckers don't want to look at us.
Nah, you're 100% right in that. I think, like we said, I don't know if it was 2 episodes ago, but Khaled is now replaced Puff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think what you said, Snoop and Jay, I don't think have younger replacements yet.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of in their own lane, even though maybe the lane is no longer on the freeway. It might be the little off-road or whatever.
Maybe not talent-wise and what they were talking, but I feel like Snoop was replaced by Nipsey. What I mean by that is he's the star crip. He's the skinny, long, lanky nigga with the hair and everybody say cuz and all this other shit. And different lane as far as hip-hop, but
Right.
LA, the face of LA, I think Snoop was replaced.
Right.
True.
Yeah, maybe not in that mainstream,
Yeah.
but yeah, as far as this is who you are, and this is what we identify with in California. I can definitely agree with
Nipsey
that.
surpassed Game and all the rest of them niggas that the LA face. The face of LA is actually Nipsey Hussle. I would have never thought it, but
Right.
it is.
It is. Yeah, that's something you cannot take away from him. Rest in peace, Nip.
Yeah.
So, Pooh, you're talking about the face, and not that Meek. Well, Meek is, I guess, the face of criminal reform. He's a face of, I guess, Philadelphia hip hop right now, at least on the mainstream, level. But what was it, last weekend? I think it was. He was denied entry into the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas, and so they said some bullshit fight broke out. They later came back and had to say, "Hey, we apologize. This was wrong. We treated you wrong." So my question is, do you think this is more of a black entertainer thing, or do you think this is more of him being someone who has a very publicized history of being incarcerated? Do you think it is more of you're black with hip hop, or you're a felon?
This is a touchy one for me, and motherfuckers probably hate me for this shit.
No,
but,
this is why I want to ask this question, because I have some feelings in regards to this. So go ahead.
Okay, number one, growing up in LA County, moving to Orange County, I done been through the discrimination shit. Number one, but at my age, well, let me get to Meek. This nigga pop wheelies and do dumb shit, so he's not a felon. Well, he might be a felon on paper, but he ain't done no violence, so that shit don't count in the street.
Right,
in my
right,
book.
right.
But man, look, at my age now, my nigga, look, straight up, I come from the gutter. Grew up around murderers and killers and all that shit my whole life, still know 'em. But in a public setting, I can't stand niggas. I didn't outgrew that bullshit, like
Right.
that ignorant bullshit ruining every fucking event. Stay y'all black asses at home. Now, it ain't right to discriminate against niggas, but I don't want to party and be around ignorant motherfuckers no more. I just don't enjoy myself. I shouldn't care, but I do care, because
Yeah.
everything that I've ever loved always gets fucking shut down because motherfuckers don't know how to behave.
That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? And all these ratchet ass bitches twerking all the goddamn time and doing all that dumb shit, it's embarrassing to me now.
Right,
I
right,
fuck
right.
these hoes, but I don't want to party around them.
I don't want to party with you.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's that's what I'm saying. Like, I know the younger crowd might disagree with what I'm saying, but I've outgrown that basic nigga shit, and I can understand not wanting that element in your establishment.
Yeah.
Not even on no race shit. Just niggas bring the wrong energy to shit and fuck everything up.
Right,
And I'm
right.
black saying it.
Right. No, and you know what? And I feel you. And I think, unfortunately, that is the stigma that is going to be attached to people like ourselves. You know what I mean? That's why it's hard to get an Airbnb. That's why it's hard to rent a fucking venue for when you hear hip hop, that's automatically what people think about. And I agree with you. I've definitely outgrown the silly shit that people of color choose to do, or choose to identify, or choose to be with. I hate being in spots where it's 42 brothers mean mugging one another. You know what I mean? And don't care what you do. They're more concentration on concentrated on where you from or who you know, or you've been to prison and things of that nature. You know what I mean? And for Meek's situation, I know he's doing, he's like you said, popped some wheelies, and violated his probation, his parole or whatever, and his judge is whack or whatnot. But it's unfortunately, I think that stigma of him being incarcerated that is now going to go ahead and follow him around. And it's an eye-opener because people, when we see photos, we see him with Robert Kraft, the dude from the Philadelphia 76ers, the general manager, owner, whatever the fuck he is. But then it's that reminder that you're still a nigga. And let's add another L to that. You have a criminal record. And even though he might not be a felon in the eyes of the street, you're a felon in the eyes of the court of law. And I think that is, something that I would imagine someone would have to learn how to navigate life through that. And again, not condoning what the Cosmo did, and probably Cosmo, like other places, has a right to refuse service to anyone else. And how do you get that off in this day and age? Let's say the people at the Cosmo didn't want him there. They have the right to say, look, we don't want you there. I mean, well, you don't want me here because I'm black. It's racist. You know what I mean? So can you enforce that without looking, a certain way? So I think it's fucked up. And to lie on the man and to say that these things have happened, because again, that hurts his brand, that hurts his business, and maybe other people start to believe that bullshit, and now you're not able to eat and do other shit. Maybe you can't get a Vegas, what are these little Vegas residencies like everybody else is. So I think it is foul. But just let me ask you your thoughts on this, huh?
Nah, I mean, shit. Just think 60, 70 years ago, shit, Cosmos was everywhere. You know what I mean? As far as people of color gaining any entrance, so
that's real.
It doesn't fucking surprise me, and I mean their apologies, excuses. I mean, I don't know if they knew who Meek Mill was, and I don't think it was anything to do with his status as far as his celebrity status. I think that's just truly how they feel. Yeah. I mean, I remember you and I going to the club in downtown Pasadena, and it was a brother at the front door that wouldn't let us come in because I had a t-shirt on or some shit like that, you know what I mean? And you just deal with that discrimination, and
that was like what, Moose McGillicuddy's or some shit like
some
that.
bullshit.
I remember, dude. He was a little. He had the dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks of all.
He was a
people.
Jamaican. He was. Yeah. I remember that.
But I mean, it shit don't change, man. It don't surprise me. You know what I mean? And like I said, with Trump coming back, they're bringing back the vocalism of racism. You know what I mean? With racism, it's so undercover. You know how people act and the energy that they give you on how they feel or not. But a lot of people were silent about it. Now it's starting to be more fucking open and give no fucks. But fuck Cosmos. They could suck my dick. I ain't going to no Cosmos. They're playing that bullshit. But shit, there's a lot of Cosmos throughout the country, man. I think it's definitely bullshit.
It's crazy, man. You look at all these festivals where these cats have been getting arrested,
oh man, what was it? 3 arrests or whatever? With fucking Kodak Black got arrested. And
that weekend
couldn't get on stage because they.
I think it was Lil Wayne left or some shit like that because they was trying to
traps, man. Yeah,
search him, and then I forget what nightclub or something in New York. They now have a hip hop unit where if you want to throw an event out there, and it's not the hip hop police, it's a whole different situation that they're checking for for everything that you're doing. So these young brothers are definitely under attack, and hopefully they're able to move a little better. The baby kid beating the pants off dude, and then
in the mall,
somebody pinched his booty at a concert, so he swung on people, he's spitting on people. So there's just a lot of wildness. Yeah, for real. It's crazy. Like this cat, like within a week, what they say, got a head like a PT Cruiser or whatever. But there was just a lot of drama popping off for these kids, and it's popping off for a lot of them, man. It's just unfortunate
it's all traps, man. You know what I mean? And it's fucked up because we got traps, just coming up out of this environment and to deal with success and come up with more complicated schemes and shit like that. Like they really try to take motherfuckers down. You know what I mean?
You think about it, when someone makes it in the entertainment business, isn't life always supposed to get better for them?
Fuck no.
No, but it's supposed to, right? Like if you get picked up on Fox for a fucking sitcom. Or if you're a pop singer and release your first album, right? Yes, there are going to be some pitfalls. Like demons, if you're not able to get off the drugs or if you're doing shit like that, that's what normally brings them down. But in our culture and in this genre of hip-hop, rap to be more for the example, it's like when you get on, it's almost like you're about to expire quicker. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can go from, you know, like this, like, okay, Blueface to be exact. This kid, before he was a rapper, had no felonies. Now you close to getting hit with 2 weapons felonies in a matter of 8 months or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, you had whatever, you know, Tatiana, whatever the name of the song was, that was the #1 record. But now you're gonna go ahead and get hit with 2 strikes. You know, look at Tekashi 6ix9ine, blew up, and then now he's done. You know what I mean? So it just seems like that happens in hip hop, and there's got to be a way. No, it doesn't seem. It happens in hip hop, and there's got to be a way that these youngsters have to get educated to make better moves. And there's more. The people who are in power look more like the kids who are making the music versus the people who are putting the kids in prison. You know what I mean? And it just seems like it's a slippery slope once you get signed and you know, and you get on. Back in our day, cats had to worry about getting jerked. Now it's like you worry, you losing your life or losing your freedom.
You know what? It's I think social media is a gift and a curse because it's so much more access. When we were younger, if you liked somebody, you liked them, you didn't really know much about them.
Right.
Now it's like you see a motherfucker going live, talking shit. You see a motherfucker flashing jewelry. You see motherfuckers envious of the women they keep around them, and it's like it sort of seems like the energy that you put out in your music comes back to you in the streets. Like if you talking gangster shit, it's gonna be motherfuckers trying to test you. To use J. Cole as an example, he doesn't talk that grimy shit, and you never hear about negativity coming his way.
Right.
Or Kendrick or people like that. So it's like, you know what I mean? You talk gangster shit, you talk about killing people in your music, and I seen the baby pissing on a dead nigga in his video and all that kind of shit. So motherfuckers is gonna test that energy once you get in the street. So
yeah,
you know, it's all about how you present it. But it's sad because motherfuckers is so much of so big of a celebrity, so to speak, and making money that people are yes men. They're not going to tell them the real. You know what I mean? And
right.
It just so happens if he was to change his brand and try to be more, you know, politically correct in his approach, then he won't be a celebrity anymore. So
yeah,
like, you got to take your chance.
Yeah, like you said, it's that gift and the curse, man. It's crazy because social media, like one of the first memories of how changing social media can be for someone was when Young Berg got his chain snatched. You know what I mean? And a lot of people thought, man, you'll never be able to live that down. Remember, the chain went on tour. You know what I mean? It was popping up in different cities or whatever. And now, you know, fast forward whatever, how many ever years that was, 10 or whatever. I forget what he calls himself now or whatever, but he's one of the biggest producers, you know, in the game or whatever. And now these type of acts really don't even hurt you that bad. You know, it's almost like you're willing to take that L, you know what I mean? And to go back to our first topic with Wack 100, could you imagine if there would have been the video of Wack getting slumped by Mike Tyson? That would have benefited him more than anything, you know what I mean? The narrative would have been like, yo, Wack stood up to Mike. How many of y'all could say that? You know what I mean? Yeah, he took one on the chin, but
it happened before.
Yeah.
When T.I. swung on Floyd.
Oh yeah.
And T.I. got all the props because he actually tried to fight Floyd. You know
right.
You're right about that.
Yeah, I remember when Simon said he could beat Floyd Mayweather.
If Floyd wouldn't touch me, I mean, he wouldn't touch me. Them little ass fists ain't hurt nobody, man. I got nephews with bigger fists than that little fucker, man. Get the fuck out of here.
So let me just ask you this hypothetically: stamina-wise, you're guaranteed to make it through the rounds. Okay, you're not going to get winded. You and Floyd are going to go 12 rounds.
Nah, fuck the 12. Nah, man.
I'm saying it's 12.
That shit got to go 30 seconds or it's over with.
No, I'm saying you have endurance. So it's not that you get winded. We'll just say we'll give you endurance. We'll give you a magic endurance pill. You and Floyd, at your current weight, at Floyd's current weight, your current age, Floyd's current age, you scheduled for 12 rounds with Floyd. Endurance is going to get you through. You ain't got to worry about getting winded. Would you beat him?
Nah, because he'll run. Floyd run, man. He run. You know what I mean? I'll tell you the difference, though. Like, I'm not Canelo in these motherfuckers. I slump motherfuckers. These cats don't slump nobody.
So if you got the shot.
He can block Canelo with him. Like, my arm is pulling, twice as much body weight as these cats. You know what I mean? So,
okay.
So I mean,
So if you got
like
the clear
I said,
shot,
he'll run. But you know what I mean? Like I said, he'll feel me.
So if you catch him, he's out. You catch him one time, he's out.
Nah, because it's gonna be too hard to catch him on the jaw or the chin or some bullshit like that. But like I said, if I hit him, he gon', you know what I mean? He gonna bounce. He gonna feel that shit. But I can't say I'll knock him out because, like I said, he have a whole career of running. He ran in 50 fights and hasn't got touched once. You know what I mean?
He said he ran in 50 fights.
So I mean, he got cross country running ability and shit like that. So I couldn't fade him. But on the streets, I'd fuck his ass up. If I could snatch his little ass, it'd be over with. I seen his shoes, bro. My daughter wears bigger shoes than Floyd, and that's probably real.
So if Floyd catch you flush on the nose.
Oh, on the nose?
So if Floyd connects, you going down?
He gonna bust my nose.
Chin? If he hit you on the chin, you going down?
Nah, them little ass hands.
He said he got shoes the same size as my daughter.
I ain't bullshit. My daughter wear grown folk shoes, and I seen them little ass things in that GM Grand. I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it was a man's shoe and shit. They should have put heels on them little fuckers. You know what I mean? Like, man.
He got
little.
He got little girl church shoes.
Oh man, shit. What was the shit? See, I know you had a sister, so you would understand me. He had jellies and shit.
Oh. He had the sparkle because
the jelly. Remember the
Floyd
jellies?
got paper, so Floyd got the sparkled bedazzled jellies. Damn.
No, they were little girl sized jellies and shit.
Hey man, Simon, you the Segway master, man. Speaking of little girls, man, your boy Kels.
Oh man.
You see Simon with the Segways, man. So on some serious shit, nasty ass Kels, another 11 charges.
Yeah, 11 counts.
11 counts for sexual acts with little girls between the ages of 11 and 13.
Ooh, 11 to 13.
11 to 13.
I didn't hear that. I
Yes,
seen the 11
yes.
counts, but I didn't read the story.
So these charges carry up to another 30 years in prison. So yeah, it's crazy, man. Criminal sexual abuse against a victim between the ages, of 13 and 16. I take that back. You're still nasty as hell.
Right.
So at some point, what happens? He sees the pen, or do you think he goes the Tech 9 route and offs himself? For those of you guys not familiar, Tech 9 is a Philadelphia battle rapper who was recently outed as also being one of these nasty motherfuckers. So, what do you think?
I don't think he killed himself because, I mean, shit, he went through the trial the first time and didn't do all that.
But he didn't have this much behind him. I think it was 1 count, right?
Yeah, I mean, shit.
He got multiple cases at this point.
We talking 20 years ago when he went through the other shit. So
Yeah.
Just be real. His music is not popping like it was 20 years ago. His bank account definitely ain't where it was. I don't think he has the money to fight it. Back then he had the money to spend his bankroll on lawyers. Now with all these new counts, it's like now it's more and more cases coming. I don't think he's gonna have the funds to actually fight the charges. And he's gonna end up having to cop a plea to this shit. And he's through.
And he's going away for the rest of his life.
Looking at 20
Yeah.
minimum.
I think this will be either ends 2 ways. 1, him going away for the rest of his life, or 2, him end up taking his life. Because I would imagine him going into prison with that type of rap, you know what I mean, with those type of charges on you. I don't care how well you can sing at the prison talent show, and if you can croon in the next cell for the 2 niggas who want to lay down to sex me, you know what I mean. But I think it's all bad for the
it's definitely all bad, but he put himself in that situation. I don't think killing himself, I don't think killing himself is going to be an option. You know what I mean? Like I said, he made his bed, so now shit, it's time to go to bed. Go to sleep. Shit.
That shit is crazy.
Night.
And I just imagine how many other people are not going to come forward. How many other people did he really actually get to? You know what I mean?
He liked young pussy.
Yeah.
Not to say it like that, but to say it like that.
Yeah.
He was into them young girls. Because the coldest part is, he's R. Kelly. He can fuck the bitches that we dreamed of fucking.
Right.
He had no fucking purpose for them.
Nope.
Even before the girl shit came out, I remember hearing stories about him going backstage at the shows, he would choose the ugliest girl. Just because if he's a thrill to him, because he can have the pretty girls whenever he wanted. It became more than sex. It became a mental thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he does kind of seem unstable right now. And I would hate to see it happen. Well, shit, I don't know the nigga, but I don't want anybody to lose their life.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not wishing that either.
Yeah, but you know, I can see it happening because for whatever reason, niggas get behind the walls and become righteous as fuck. Like that could be my sister, that could be my mama, that could be my daughter.
Right.
But niggas don't give a fuck when you're
on the street. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna be PC up regardless though, because of his status.
He's high profile. You know what I mean? The motherfucker get a strike.
But then in Illinois though, motherfuckers. Illinois is not like California as far as your time served, because they don't do strikes. It's not like California shit. They don't strike your ass out. So like, you do your time, that's it. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? Like you're not getting, if you're a multi like felon and shit like that. I mean, he could be out. You know what I mean? And they don't take the L.
So he could do his 30.
Like no,
and go home.
motherfuckers don't do L's. Only California is the motherfucker that carry the license where you in there for life.
Really? So nowhere else in the United States?
No,
have
in
life
Illinois.
sentence?
No, Illinois.
Oh, Illinois.
Because the OG came during the few months ago or whatever, and he was talking about motherfuckers getting in and out in Illinois. He's like, man, California, y'all motherfuckers are cold out here. And he was telling me about that Illinois. So I mean, shit, if he take a plea for lesser time, the motherfucker might, you know what I mean, get out.
That's crazy that you mentioned that. Maybe that's why it's so wild west out there. Like if I shoot you, I'm not going to jail for life.
Nah, they might do a 7 to 10.
I might do 7. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
They're different. Illinois is different than Cali.
I never thought about that.
This shit.
Yeah, like Louisiana. I remember him saying it when Katrina happened. In New Orleans, number one, a big difference out there in the state of Louisiana. 2nd degree murder is a life sentence. That's number one. We don't even got that shit here. But out there at the time, I don't know if they changed it. If you were charged with murder, they had like, I don't know if it was 60 days or they had like 60 days to formally charge you, or you hit the streets again. So when Katrina happened and them niggas got displaced, they went to Houston, starting that ruckus and thinking they was getting down to 60 days. But no, when they get to Texas, your ass is locked up for good over that same shit. So the laws of the land are definitely different.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's some definitely that's some good shit.
That's what they charging him to think about.
Yeah.
Another quick example. Lil Boosie was charged with how many murders he was facing.
He was on death row, right?
He was on death row. I've never seen a motherfucker on death row who wasn't convicted of a murder.
Yeah.
He was on death row fighting the case.
Right.
We don't have that shit here.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he got off. That's the crazy shit, because he was looking at all that time.
Yeah.
And he was able to beat that and come home. Yeah, California, I guess they trying to lock you up for good.
Oh, man, California probably got the biggest prison population in the world.
And I wonder how much money that the prisons are making off of the employment of those people. You know, basically the incarcerated slavery of those people.
It go all hand in hand in the prison system now. They have their hands not only just in the funding from the state,
federal
running
funding.
them. They getting federal funding, but
and private.
No, and they're getting funding from before. When people were in prison, you were able to send them packages and buy goods through, you know what I mean, through merchandisers out here in the free world, put it in a box and send the shit to them. Now everything goes through the private institution, where you got to buy it through the private institution. It's basically a checklist, and they put this shit together for you. They get that money. Then you got to have before you can collect calls and shit. Now you've got to purchase time or minutes through their services. So these fuckers, they're
everything.
All the money coming in, out, all that shit, they got their hand in all pockets.
This shit is true. So a couple years ago when I was in the county, shit, they had a fucking computer set up in the goddamn
a tablet. My pops got a tablet on the yard.
You go in there and order your fucking commissary online while you in the goddamn dorm with 60, 70 fucking motherfuckers on there, so they get all the money.
Yeah.
But fuck R. Kelly though.
Yeah, nah, for real. Again, don't want to wish death on anybody, but this is a crazy situation. He's looking at a lot of time. A lot of it probably deserved. I honestly want to see what happens if he implicates others who helped him Like the brother we talked about on Solo Dolo a long time ago that just happened to find the tape. I had a VHS tape in this in this random box at my house I was cleaning up after 20-something years. It said R. Kelly. I thought it was a concert footage I shot, and ended up being Kel's piping some little girl down. You know what I mean? Like those people that are still hanging on to those things.
I don't think they'll be implicated, but you know what? They got to deal with the bigger judgment, and that's the judgment of their passing. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I feel you on that, but I think we need to start addressing some of those things too, because these sick people who help sick people like that, and, they need to get off the streets, man. Yeah, so Murs and Ninth Wonder have a series of projects, mixtapes, albums, whatever you want to call them. One of them having one of my favorite songs with Sugar Free on it, where he says that homegirl's daddy got killed trying to go to the hood to pay a nigga to pee on him. So they are dropping their last ever collaborative album here, and it's good when you hear old heads getting out there and doing it. But my question is not really what do we think about this project, but is this the way to go as old heads? Obviously Murs and Ninth aren't struggling for money. Do you think that at this point they're dropping projects just for the love of hip-hop, just for the passion and wanting to put out new music and not really worrying about trying to get the paper?
Yeah, I mean they've been about that throughout their whole careers. It's older cats got a love for the music, and you just can't let that shit go. So I think it's dope. They gonna do a record about where they're at with their lives right now, and shit that relate to them. And I think you know what I mean. It's dope. Motherfuckers got scrapbooks and shit like that, and with hip hop, it's our scrapbook. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I think it's dope. It's appreciated, and to see where they're at, and I think they're not doing it for to pay the light bill. You know what I mean?
Right. They're in a place where they don't need that. Yeah. What you say? What say you, Pooh?
I agree. You know what I mean? The whole thing about this is our last ever collaborative effort. I mean, is that a marketing ploy or some shit? Because why would you even have to announce that?
Well, I guess this is a series of tapes that they released, and so this is the last time that they're gonna to collaborate. And maybe it is a marketing ploy to sell more records, but also maybe this is just the statement of, hey guys, this is it. We'll never do this again. So you might, for the fans that like this, you need to check it out, because this is definitely not going to happen again. This is the finality. I think there's 3 projects if I'm not mistaken. This will be the 4th. Some of them I thought were okay. The one I think it was the second to last one was probably my favorite. It's a great cover with Ninth and Murs just sitting down chilling. But I'm gonna look forward to it. Since we're not gonna get any Ninth production on the Little Brother record. Ninth is coming with a new Rhapsody project, so I'm gonna be checking for that. And then all of his other artists that he's working with. Was it Jamla? Yeah, Jamla is the name of the label. So yeah, I'm really waiting for that to pop. That's something that when Rhapsody had Layla's Wisdom, and it looked like we were about to get some more music, and then all of a sudden it just kind of stopped when Layla's Wisdom went on that run and did really well, and then we just didn't really hear about Jamla. So it'd be interesting to see if Ninth off this drop rolls out some other stuff and get some new music coming out, because there's a lot of good music coming out. We Madlib and Freddie Gibbs have confirmed. Was it Bandana 2 or not? Yeah. I don't know why I wanted to say Pinata.
They had Pinata before.
They had Pinata. Okay. So Bandana 2 is dropping and whatnot, and they even have a single. I haven't had a chance to check it out. There was like a country western vibe to the video or whatnot. Smith & Wesson have a new joint out. That's a summer joint that's pretty dope. They got some new music coming out. So old heads dropping good music, not trying to blow up, I think is the way that a lot of these old cats need to go. If you're trying to do it for the bucks, and I don't know. I think that window's been closed. Before we end the show, Sam, you and Pooh on the way back from our Arizona road trip, we're talking about hip hop songs in general that we just hate. And we're not gonna shit on the youngsters right now. We're gonna try to think of some shit from our eras that we didn't like, because I know a lot of times people criticize, oh, y'all act like everything from y'all era was dope, and it wasn't.
Nah.
So Simon, you said the Diddy, Paperboy the Diddy. That shit was trash. Hated it. Pooh, what you got?
I got so many.
Let's go. Let's go around the room, man. Let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna just rattle one off. That fucking, what was that Baby Bash shit?
The sugar so fly.
Sugar so fly.
Garbage.
Yeah. I could never fucked up with that. That shit was garbage to me. Man, Ice Cube Bop Gun. I hated that. To me, because it was just so different. Cube was so aggressive, and then here comes Bop Gun. You know what I mean? Like, and I felt the production. The only all right, it's George Clinton, Parliament, the Funkadelics. It was too reminiscent. Of course, it's the same fucking song, but to that X-Clan joint off To the East Blackwards. I will. Whoever uses that sample in any way, that is the first thing that I'm gonna go ahead and come to mind. So anybody who uses that after, just forget about it. But Bop Gun and Ice Cube, that was my first. Like, I'm not really feeling Cube. I also really disliked the fake West Coast Biggie. What was the dude's name?
Gorilla Black.
Yeah. Gorilla Black. That little song that he had. What was that called?
Compton. That
Compton.
shit wasn't that bad.
Yeah, nah.
I can tolerate that.
I didn't like it, bro.
What do you think, Pooh?
To me, it was like blatant, just bullshit. I mean, as far as the sound of the song, it wasn't bad, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, see, same thing. I just couldn't do it.
Because I got some worse shit than that.
No, keep it going, man. Please. Let's run.
Party Up, DMX.
Oh man.
Yeah. Up in here.
So that is one of the few blemishes on DMX's chink of armor when it comes to him being one of the greatest ever to do it.
Motherfuckers like that shit, man.
Yeah, but it's one of those songs when you're over. Yeah. You know, like I imagine when younger hip hop looks back at Kendrick's run, and they look at songs like Loyalty and I want to be with you. Like when you go back, you look at shit like that, you're gonna be like, wow, why did he do that? And Party Up is that song. Like that was crazy. And that's probably a Swiss Beats shot call on that one. Like, you need this on the album. You know what I mean? All my Rough Riders.
That might be his biggest single ever.
No, it definitely is, because before that, I don't think X was putting out records where he was trying to blow up. Yeah. They were just organically, hey, this is my shit. Who knew Get At Me Dog was gonna do with it? Who knew How's It Going Down was gonna get the traction that it was gonna go ahead.
I think they went in the studio with that in mind of having the single How's It Going Down.
I don't know. Because when you listen to it doesn't.
Face on the hook and shit, like they knew what the fuck they were doing. With
yeah,
that.
But it wasn't.
That wasn't like, it's gonna be an album cut right here. Like, nah.
I don't know, because you're normally, when you have Faith on the hook, if you look at Faith hooks on other rap songs, they're a lot more dramatic. You know what I mean? And Going Down, I don't remember that being a vocally powerful performance, and then to me the best part is the hook is X. So give me a word, you won't give me the digits of word. When the chicken go and give me the bud. Like, to me that was a part of Faith's part is almost I know, and we love X. Don't get me wrong, but go back and listen to some of the stuff. You're just like, but yeah. So Party Up. What else you got, Pooh?
Regulator.
Oh yeah, I never liked that. I never liked Regulator. I never liked it.
I hate that fucking song.
That's what
I don't know how people like that shit, man.
I don't know what it is. I hate
that fucking song.
You know what? When the fucking song starts and they got the young,
you can't be no geek off the street if you know what I mean. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I hated that. And the sample's dope. Shout out to Michael McDonald, whatever. But you know what? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I can't fuck with the sample or that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, how you know?
I got another one. I know it's blasphemous.
Go ahead.
A lot of motherfuckers.
Go ahead.
Man, I could not stand To Live and Die in L.A.
Yeah, nah, really talent show song at the best.
Yeah.
That
one wasn't that bad.
Nah, I agree with you. I didn't like that. I never liked Hypnotize. There's a couple, like, I didn't like Juicy the first time we heard Juicy, and it was floating around a little cassette tape, and there's, We used to, what was it? What was it? Birthdays were the worst days.
Yeah.
I never liked that. I thought that shit was whack. I didn't start fucking with Big until I think it was it Hypnotize? Was it Warning? I think it was Warning. It was somebody had a tape in the neighborhood and
No, you know what? The B side of Juicy. What fucking song was that?
that
Was it Unbelievable?
It was, yeah, that's what it was. That's the tape that we had. Was
unbelievable.
Yeah. So okay, so yeah, what else? Nas, You Owe Me.
Oh,
Yeah, that was garbage.
It was trash.
I was about to say Hate Me Now, but You Owe Me was worse than that.
Yeah. Hate Me Now was just that nigga letting Puffy take him in the wrong direction with the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think if he did the video differently, because at the time the song was very true because Big had issue with him. There was other cats in NY who had issue with him. I don't know if Wu ever had issue with Nas, but I would like to know. But there were other cats in New York who were envious of what he was doing. You know what I mean? I think he even had issues with Steve Stout at the label. So there's a lot of people who had issues. So I understand why he made the song. I'll never understand the video, Passion for Christ out in the middle of the desert, Puff and shit. Yeah, that was just
Doing too much.
Doing too much. But yeah, definitely. You Owe Me. Like, I don't know. That shit is crazy still to this day. You know what I mean? Like, you got the shackles on your feet. And it's crazy because Nas is such the, I don't want to call him conscious rapper, but everything about that song is just like wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you enslaving hoes, Nas? What's going on?
You know what? At that time, that was, after Pac and Big passed and Puffy took control of the industry and Master P them came, everything was shiny suits, big and bright, and he tried to jump in there on that shit too, and it was an epic fail. If you notice when Jay dissed Nas on I forgot the name of the goddamn diss track.
Takeover.
The Takeover.
Yeah.
He mentioned that shit.
Yeah,
he
did.
That era of Nas was garbage. I would say from like 98 to about 2000. He had some shit in between, but overall he had fell all the way
going
the fuck
through
off.
it. Yeah.
I think Ether brought Nas' career back.
Hell yeah,
He
that
had
saved
fucked
him.
up. Yeah, saved him.
Yeah.
Gave him a fresher
Yeah.
breath there.
I got an old track though that I never.
All right. Let me hear.
Back to the Hotel.
Oh, yeah. In Too Deep.
The beat is hard. I like the beat though. The beat is hard.
Yeah.
You get the black one, I'll get the white one.
Yeah,
Whatever the
nah.
fuck that shit.
Yeah.
That wasn't that bad. Like, I could tolerate that shit.
Indo Smoke. My Mr. Grimm, I never really
I was
fucked
a
with
kid,
that.
yeah, I was a kid.
I never really fucked with. I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. This is gonna hurt my heart to say this, but and it's a classic, and it's one of the pillars of West Coast hip hop. No matter what you want to say about it, even though it's not really Cali, it's still West Coast. I hated My Posse's on Broadway. Me and Kitty Conception, no homo, we from Hawaii.
Hey, that shit hard.
My Posse's on Broadway. Nah,
That shit beat though,
What
man.
about shit? He had beepers too.
Beepers. But he gets a pass for Put Him on the Glass.
Hey,
Put him on the glass.
Great
We know,
video.
you know what? And we don't talk about put him on. When we did the X-rated video segment or whatever, we just automatically gave Tip Drill the award.
Yeah.
But Put Him on the Glass, man. I don't know. I might have to revisit that one if there's an uncensored version to see if that can come back
you
to
know.
legendary status right there.
You know what else I hated? Deep. Speaking of cute,
Yeah.
Wicked. I never liked fucking Wicked.
Yeah. Ooh, get Wicked like
Yeah.
Wilson Pickett. Yeah. That one was
Oh,
forced, man.
you know what else I hated? Dre, Keep Their Heads Ringing.
Oh, that shit was garbage.
What was the shit with Cuban?
Natural Born Killers
Yeah,
was
that
garbage
shit was
too.
whack,
Yeah,
too.
That was that. And the whole movie rollout for that. That shit,
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. Shit, we really shitting on
You
a
know,
lot of
you-
old
hey.
school classics right now.
Hey,
Hey, you know what I don't
Yeah.
like? You know what I don't like? Fucking the original California. I like the California Love remix, but I didn't like the original.
Which beat was that?
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, okay.
dun. I hate that shit, man.
So that's the one
With Pac and Dre.
okay, but the remixing, who's on the remix?
The remix, I think it's more Roger Troutman because it's much smoother.
Oh, he's at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah.
Rick this
Yeah,
scared.
and then you know what about was I don't know, it was a couple months ago they actually put out the version without Pac on it, and it was just all Dre's born ass rapping through the whole
Yeah.
entire song. That shit is crazy. I'm trying to think what other old school songs was I not really feeling at the time that
It's a lot.
other people were.
It's kind of hard to think on the spot. But
Yeah. Man, we got to sit down and we got to really deep dive into that because there is a lot.
You know what we could do?
H to the
next,
Izzo. H to the Izzo.
Next show,
H to the
no, I
Izzo's
got it. Next,
trash.
Next show we can do like a draft, but we can just mention artists and their worst fucking songs, just going around the fucking board
And find out who's the best
Like-
artist with the worst song.
No. Just we mentioned Jay. What's your worst fucking Jay song? Nas. What's your worst Nas? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. That's a good idea. I'm trying to think who else. So
Fucking Mace. Like there's a lot of Mace shit I didn't like. That little "Tell me what you want from me."
yeah,
I hated that shit.
And
Like,
Mace, but again, Mace was at Mace
Nothing
is
do
at,
nothing for you. And fuck all that
Mace
shit.
was that puffy controlled era of hip hop where there was a lot of that bullshit. 'Cause
No, I know that, but
remember
I just,
Harlem Worlds?
Oh,
man.
Harlem was garbage.
Yeah.
But it's so garbage I can't remember how the fuck that shit
I
went.
just remember they
but
had a video where they were like in a circus or
Yeah.
something like that.
what was the Fat
Looking
Joe
like
and
Evo.
Ashanti track?
What's love?
That shit is horrible. Any of that, any of the Fat Joe with a shiny, Ja Rule with a shiny, Ja Rule with Little Mo, any of that. I'm sorry.
Basically, that whole
Murder
Yeah.
Murder Inc. type of
Oh,
shit.
that shit wasn't that bad. No,
Nah, like,
I mean, it wasn't my shit I was bumping, but
oh yeah, any of that J-Lo and any of that. Any of that. That was a dark time in hip hop right there. That was dark. Where you had to have that type of shit on the hook or whatever, and then they had melodies and they had bridges for the heifer singing or whatever, and just the way you walk, the way. Nah, I'm good.
Oh, what was Fabulous first fucking single?
The little Superman.
No, not that one, Little Mo.
No.
The one with Nate Dogg.
Oh, that was
I can't deny it.
I
I hated that shit
yeah,
too.
yeah. And you know what? Fab makes whack albums. I like his mixtapes better.
Yeah.
I like his mixtape better. I think whoever was controlling Fab's career at that time, don't know who he was signed to, they were putting him out with a lot of bullshit. That So Into You, like he was part of that whole Tamia, him and like he had it, man. For somebody who was as dope as he was as a rapper, you know what I mean? Like, man, they tried to get Jada that way. Like, Jada had, you know what? I don't like Why. I don't like Why.
Why?
And I like Jada. I don't like Why.
What was the Jada and the Mariah? The K-I-S.
Oh,
yeah, that shit was whack.
Those are those. Yeah, those are those reaches where you just should reach.
Oh shit, nigga. Headsprung.
Oh, Lord of mercy. Have your man reimburse me.
That and that. What's it? Something like a phenomenon.
So here it is. I think my thing with Headsprung is I think LL saw what Nelly was doing and thought he could bring his own Nelly looking ass back.
Nelly's whole catalog.
Sweat and suits. Shaking like a tail feather. Yeah. Nelly, like that's a hard discussion to have when you talk about Nelly because you have to give Nelly a lot of props as far as
for what?
Man, Nelly was moving.
What, ask your take two or your tattooist because you so St. Louis and shit?
Hey, what did Jay say? There's only 3 people moving units, Pimp, Juice, and us. So Nelly definitely had an impact on hip hop. And Nelly, fucking look at Old Country Road. Nelly was the first Lil Nas X with another song I hate, that fucking Tim Reynolds or whatever the name of that song is. It's all in my head over and over again. You know what I mean? So Nelly has a big, huge piece of hip hop that he is definitely.
But was it for the good?
Lil Nas X just gifted fucking Billy Ray Cyrus.
I love the way you do that right there.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean. There's a lot of that.
Hey, we gonna beat him up, fool. As soon
Jaquan.
as we stop recording, we gonna beat this guy up, Nelly.
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm not feeling it. I agree. Nelly's whole catalog is trash. But if you take away Nelly from hip hop, there's a lot of people on that Nelly tree that die off. Now they're not artists that deserve to live when we're talking about MCing, but it's still a big part of the culture.
There's another one. Y'all might have liked the track, but I always hated it. Hey Ma. I hated it.
Oh yeah.
Hey Ma.
We gonna get it on
What's
tonight.
up? Yeah. I like Jewel's verse. I was always disappointed when Cam would jump on these tracks that were beneath Cam. And I like Jules' little verse because, you know, down there's a crazy right, and he's a baby right. Yeah, he was a little young, cocky dude, so I respected that. But definitely, I would rather listen to the instrumental and the Charlie Brown piano than I would listen to the song itself. But man, there's a lot of songs like that. Like, what's that other one? I hate that Kanye flashing light shit. I do not understand why people like that.
I like the beat.
I don't understand that. Niggas in Paris, I'm not fucking with that.
I didn't fuck with Gold Digger. I like that
shit.
Nah.
That shit was just way too repetitive. Man, yeah, there's a lot of them. Let's try to get one or two more before we close this motherfucker out today. Off the top, I'm trying to think.
Shit.
I'm trying to think of big songs that people just swore by.
Yeah, I mean, like Slim Shady, anything. To me, all the M hits is fucking terrible to me. Slim
what was
Shady,
the name of that fucking song? Diamonds on my fingers, a couple on my toes.
Can you work with that? Can you work with that? Who sang that? Or who rapped that?
That was Quick and AMG.
That was Quick and AMG.
The Fix? Or
No. It was there was the Fixers. Quick and AMG. Can you work with that? Yeah. Meet me at the tele.
Quick has had some shit too, because the Black Mercedes shit with Nate Dogg, like that should have been fly. But I didn't like their verses on that shit.
Quick is always going to be an enigma to me because I believe he should be a much better, he should be a much bigger star when it comes to hip hop because if we're just going to talk about talent, production, and rhyming, I don't know who I can put at that level with Quick. And I'm not saying that because we West Coast cats, but to me, Quick has always been ill on the mic when he wants to. When he's talking about Jordan going for 40 in the sucker and you know, production, we know what he does. And to me, it's like, man, if maybe there wasn't the run-in with the police, bad contracts, you know, what would have happened? And now it just seems like he's older. He should be in a position where he's influencing the West Coast by leading from the front, not playing the background.
In my opinion, there's no reason why Quick shouldn't have elevated and been at least as big as E40. He didn't reach that level, and he should at least reach that level.
I think he should have been at Dre's level. I think he, you know, because they essentially are doing pretty much the same thing when they're curating projects, when they're making music. I'll say that I've always preferred the music that Quick has done because it's more soulful, it has more live instruments and things of that nature, where Dre really has a sound, and you know when you're listening to a Dre record, whether it's fucking, you know, an Exhibit record or Busta Rhymes record or Gwen Stefani, that's another person. All those Gwen and Eve records that ever came out, I'm not fucking with any of those. I don't care who produced them. Them shits were trash. But I don't know, it just always seems like, you know, for whatever reason, Quick can never make up for that time that was lost.
You know what? I know he had free, but I think it's the supporting cast. Dre always aligned himself with other stars, upcoming stars, when he created them. Quick understudies never turned out to be shit.
And you think Quick was just too loyal to the High Seas,
pretty much, because he's still rocking with them.
And the Sugar Frees,
and it might be the money issue. Quick's never had the Dre.
Yeah, he never had the backing. That is true. Well, shit, let's go ahead and wrap this up, man. I want to thank everybody for rocking with us tonight, listening to an honest conversation about hip-hop. Make sure you add us on all of the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you add Sim Kapone. You want to go ahead and give them your Twitter real quick and your Instagram and how they can find you?
Yeah, Sim Kapone, SIMKAPONE.
And what about you, Big Pooh?
Shit, you can use Fly Flaming Pooh. FLYFLAMINPOOH.
Oh, and I forgot. The best place to find me is at your baby mama house. It's summertime.
They gotta have air conditioning, though.
Yeah,
or a big ass fan for my boy.
Box fan or industrial fans.
Right. Let me shout out really quick my guy, man, Lou over at Cali Dream. So if you're in the Inland Empire like we are, broadcasting live from Chino, and you need the best flour, concentrates, edibles, or cartridges, make sure you holler at Cali Dreams.
Trees.
Flowers, well, I'll just let people know too. Flowers, you know, that's the new lingo. So that's Cali Dreams. You can go ahead and
we know who came up with that one.
we can go ahead and find them on Weed Maps. That's Cali Dreams. We're gonna have a producer behind us tonight. Not sure who it is. We got a couple people to pick from. But if you want to get your music played on the program, go ahead and hit us through the inbox on Facebook. Again, that's an honest conversation about hip hop. So big props to everybody who tuned in. Again, it's your boy D Moraney, aka Hip Hop's Uncle Phil. And until next time, we'll see you. Be safe. Peace.